教えて差し上げましょう。本物の日がフレアというもの。
Demon lords are some of the most common trope in anime, powerful beings that exist to rule over their own world, or sometimes even reincarnate themselves to find worthy opponents to fight. Take it simply, a lot of them truly exist to toy with those who challenge them. So, in today's video, we will be going over 10 anime where the main character surprises everyone with his demon lord powers. This is going to be an action-packed list you do not want to be missing out on. So, if you're new here, then please make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the notifications bell icon turned on to stay updated with the latest anime news and recommendations right at your doorstep. Now, without keeping you all waiting, let us begin with the video.
いや、お前の兄さんの魔力の形だよ。行くぜ。
So why don't we kick this list off with an anime series by the name of Blood Lad, featuring a powerful vampire by the name of Stash Charlie, a vampire lord that rules over the Eastern District. Unfortunately, while his status is represented of him being so powerful, yet he mostly spends his time in his house playing video games or just entertaining himself with what he loves. You can pretty much say that he has become very lazy. But at some point though, after a mysterious girl from another world suddenly entered his life, it somehow became more interesting where he promised to help her return to her world, and that means leaving his house to venture off and explore the demon world where he will finally show off his awesome skills as the ruler. Up next on the list is one of the better harem series which many of you should definitely consider watching, as it does have quite the powerful protagonist, and it is How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Demon Lord Diablo, the demon lord from another world. The name is just, the description sounds so cool. But before he was a demon lord, a mere human being was playing as his avatar dressed as a demon lord, and was by far the strongest character in the entire game. After being sucked into the game world and summoned by a demi-human and an elf, Diablo's entire life has turned into a real exciting adventure. Demon King Daimao is a classic Demon Lord anime series that aired back in 2010. That was a while ago, man. But it is set in an elite magic school where aspiring magicians learn to control their mana, and new students who enter the school must take a small test where an artifact will determine their power level. Well, I guess you might have an idea what comes next. But pretty much, the protagonist Akuto gave this test a go, and it said that he will become the next Demon King, making the whole school shocked with these insane results. Now we move on to one of my favorite anime series, actually the second isekai series I've ever watched, which actually helped me get invested into the isekai genre in general, and it is none other than The Devil is a Part-Timer. Both the Demon Lord and the hero, after their big battle, were suddenly transferred to another world, and that world is Japan. This is a reverse isekai series, which you don't see that often these days, and by far one of the best isekai anime created. Mao has lost a lot of his powers from going to this world, so he must have a plan B, and that is settling down and getting himself a job to earn a living until he has gained his powers back, and the same thing goes for the hero. It is a pretty funny show, so I think you all will really find some good entertainment from this. Blue Exorcist is next on the list, and this one actually features a protagonist named Rin Okumura, who inherits the power of Satan, who is his father. Now, people fear his father due to his terrifying power he wields as he wishes to conquer the world, but instead of Rin wanting to follow his father's footsteps, he decides to become an exorcist and slay the demons to protect the world from danger. Let's do it all! All of this while knowing he inherits Satan's powers. Who knows what would happen if people find out the truth that he has been hiding from all his peers all this time. A show with great characters always helps drive its story further, and I think this anime does a good job at being somewhat very consistent. And now we're moving on to a very popular isekai with the most broken and powerful demon lord you will ever witness in anime, and it is from Misfits of Demon Lord Academy.
その言葉忘れるな。
Aroso Voldigo, the most powerful being, is reincarnated and died by the hands of the hero to go years into the future and become the next Demon Lord candidate at an academy he is going to be transferring to. Of course, this academy is meant to be quite challenging, and for him, it's pretty much a walk in the park, as anyone who dares get in his way will be wiped out and most likely resurrected a few times until that someone has learned their lesson. Demon Lord Retry is quite an underrated anime which involves yet another Demon Lord candidate with a very important mission, which is to discover what this world is all about and find out exactly who summoned him here. It's definitely not the best isekai I've seen, nor is it the worst, but let's say it's somewhere along the middle, and having finished the series, I can comfortably say you might enjoy it if you decide to watch it. Now this one here is a brand new series that is currently still airing, and it is The Demon Lord is Reborn as a Typical Nobody. Demon Lord Varvatos, the most powerful and fearsome lord in the world, has been fed up with the world as from its, weaklings who won't pose a threat or a challenge, and so reincarnated, halving his power level in the hopes of a worthy challenger, and now goes by the name Ardo Meteor. Well, things didn't really go the way he wanted and ended up being too powerful after his reincarnation. From what I can say so far, the story is pretty average, as it can tend to be, a little bit generic at some points, but I'm mostly enjoying this anime for its characters. And if you're interested in one character absolutely dominating everything around him, then this is definitely worth watching. Strike the Blood. It's not really your usual Demon Lord series, but more of a vampire lord, featuring the 7th primogenitor by the name of Akatsuki Kojo. This man has insane destructive potential and could harm innocent beings since he is posing as a human, but after the Lion organization have heard of him and dispatched a shaman named Yukina to look over his actions, things get a little bit more romantic between them. It's heavily action-packed with absolutely perfect and beautiful visuals, slower on the production side, but definitely worth the trip. And now finally on the list we have is an anime by the name of Trinity 7. A popular harem series that aired in 2014, having a very mediocre storyline, typical high school setting, unnecessarily complicated magic system, and lots of good old fan service, Trinity 7 would have been very average and forgettable if it wasn't for its amazing and great characters. Thankfully, Arata is not a dense character, otherwise it would have been a very little pain to watch, but thankfully, the characters are also, the female cast specifically, is very likable with stuff to even look back at and remember, especially with their interactions. Looks like the story of Demon Lord is now over, as we have now reached the end of the video, but if I've managed to leave any anime out in particular that you thought would be a great addition to the list, then let me know in the comment section down below, as I'd love to hear your very own opinion, or just comment down below what you thought about the video in general, as I'd always appreciate the feedback. Enjoy the rest of